serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
You gotta have a story.
Who says you gotta have a story?
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Instead, only try to realize the truth.
Wait,
There is no spoon.
there is no spoon.
I'll tell you what it's worth. Not a damn thing. It's a waste of time.
One of the things for me, I know a lot of people were fed up with Robb Stark, understandably.
With good reason.
With good reason. But I loved Robb Stark. Like, whenever he went in to the Kingslayer's cell and then had the dog sick him, basically, I was like, oh, Robb Stark killed my dude!
3 victories doesn't make you a conqueror. That's better than 3 defeats.
Yeah, right. And the wolf comes in.
Dude, that's my that's actually been my best character impression this entire time.
Right. I mean, you don't have quite the stubble you need, but they don't know this. He has great stubble, audience.
No, I don't. It's okay. It's red randomly and it doesn't actually have any manageable beard pattern.
Mike, you got all the Tully. You got none of the Stark, okay?
You got more than
I am too damn big to be a Tully.
Yeah.
No, honestly, you're the uncle for the Manderleys.
Oh my god, you're right.
That guy's terrifying. They have tridents.
Yeah.
Like legit tridents.
Like legit, they think they're
like
mermaids.
Brick.
Like,
From
no,
Anchorman tridents.
the Freys roll up and are mean mugging everybody in the Manderley's castle. They look at him and go, "No, we're not even gonna try."
GG, no reason.
No respawn. No respawn.
Yeah, I like Robb. He's a good.
Robb was almost
fighter.
really cool. Like
Robb is just too young.
Robb was too young, yeah,
and too misguided. And
he's
he
Catelyn
had
buzzing in his ear all the time.
Honestly, he should have been listening. Like, I hate to say this,
Roose.
Roose is a psychopath. Like,
okay, Roose is...
He's a stereotypical psychopath.
Honestly, Roose isn't even a psychopath. Roose is the actual definition of a sociopath.
Mike's team Roose, by the way.
I'm not. No, okay,
Team
no.
Bolton.
No. Oh,
I know.
Don't you say that.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't you dare. I am anything Ramsay Bolton can die.
I'm fine with Roose Bolton. He's fun.
No, the Roose Bolton is
he's
what is it?
He's a blast.
Roose Bolton is literally a sociopathic pragmatist.
He's pretty intense.
Yeah, I don't think if he thinks the Starks are the best way for his house to survive, he supports the Starks.
Oh, yeah.
He's not malicious. That's why I have to have a begrudging respect for his evilness, because it's not actually evil. Granted, I don't know how to... the one flaw in my theory...
He's chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain the Lannisters send their guards. That might be just him being a troll. Like, I want to screw
Was that in the book, or no?
What?
The Lannisters send their regards.
Actually, no.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Granted, I think that's also because...
I think he was just being honest.
No, honestly, what I think that was is he understands that the North is not going to come nicely, because every other house, except for now the Karstarks, hates the Boltons. Despises them. Because they were the last house to come into the fold.
The Boltons are?
Yeah. So he needs Lannister help, which means saying the Lannisters send their regards in front of Frey, who will definitely tell the Lannisters whatever the hell goes on.
Right.
Probably a tactful. So okay, then again, I've explained.
tactful.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. He's still just a pragmatist.
So, oh man, how do we get there? So, Robb Stark, I was a big Robb Stark fan, and so, Catelyn Stark, don't care that she died. Bimbo number 2, Tullys Stark. I mean, she's attractive and whatnot, but, I wasn't torn up about, Grey Wind dying. I was torn up about that.
Oh,
You
dude.
listen to your direwolf, damn it.
Yeah, that was messed up.
If he's flipping out, it's a direwolf. The direwolf doesn't flip out unless something's wrong.
Right.
The direwolf is the master of all evolution.
Catelyn should know last time all the direwolves flipped out, I almost was assassinated.
Right? She, of all people, should
Yeah.
understand that.
She should be like, psst. I mean, actually, at that point, the doors were locked. They were done, but, I mean, she should have at least went, psst, Robb.
Well, no, but if you think about it, though,
By the way.
there's enough Northmen there.
At least some of them make it.
Well, no, that's the thing. They all surround Robb. Most of them die, but Robb gets out of the building.
Right.
There's probably no guarantee that he survives being hunted
But he's
down.
not. Yeah, but I mean, at least he's not stabbed right there on the spot.
Well, honestly, the scene that actually resonated with me in the TV show that they don't really go into detail in the book is the camp.
Right, how it's just a chaos. Everyone's fighting everyone.
It's just brutal, and that's the thing. The Northmen have no chance. They're caught with their pants down, sometimes literally. To me, it's why Martin masters tragedy so well, because it's literally, and I'm sure anybody who's physically powerful and has been caught off guard with something, or someone who had the upper hand and was just got caught off guard, it's the worst type of fight or competition you can have. You're down. You should be winning. You're right. You're morally correct. You should be winning. What the hell? Why are you losing? You're losing. You're done.
No, but in Game of Thrones, whenever somebody breaks their word, they die.
Literally. No, and honestly, I can't
Which is
wait.
interesting because everyone has to break their word to get the leg up, and then
Nope.
it comes back
Jon
around.
Snow hasn't. Jon Snow.
Yeah, he did. He broke his vows.
Yeah, I mean, he grit.
He broke his vows.
He had a little
Oh,
grit,
damn it.
little cupcake for himself.
Don't go any further. I know what you're thinking, and I'm thinking it too. Shut up.
So then, has Tyrion broken any vows?
Yeah, to Shay.
Well, she broke them first.
Doesn't matter. He still broke his word. I am yours and yours.
It doesn't count if you're breaking your vows for other people. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, Peter Dinklage, you can't see me taking my hat off, and you're probably never going to hear this, but hats off to you for that performance.
Which
You're a whore!
you just led me to my quick side note, by the way, is of all the superhero movies that are coming out, which there's a plethora. Cap 2 is actually above my expectations. I really enjoyed Cap 2.
I told you.
But of all the ones coming out, even before Captain America 2, I was most excited for X-Men. A, because I love First Class. I thought it was great.
I thought it was great.
Trask!
They're bridging. Because I like James was it James McAvoy? Is that his name? The Professor X, young Professor X. I loved young Professor X. Michael Fassbender's Magneto,
God.
words need not be said. Probably, if the Joker didn't exist, would be my favorite. Anne Bane would be my favorite villain.
Dude, he
and
makes a
then,
fedora
obviously,
look good.
Right. And then you still have Patrick Stewart and Old Man. What's Old Man Magneto's actual
Ian
name?
McKellen.
And Ian McKellen. Like, they're bringing all those guys together, so I'm like, that gets me amped. You're gonna have Wolverine, and then you have Peter Dinklage as Trask. So that movie, like, of all the, like, even Spider-Man, and I probably like Spider-Man more than X-Men overall, but even X-Men is by far the movie I've been most excited for as a superhero.
Okay.
Did you know he was in it?
No, I didn't realize. Is he going to be playing, like, the brain or something?
No.
No, he plays Trask, the industrialist / politician.
Who, like,
Defense contract
designs the Sentinels, the robots. That
He
like,
has
all
a
the
family. Granted, my comic friends are going to kick me in the face for this, but I don't remember what connection, but he has a reason to hate mutants. And so he leads this crusade, like, they're going to, it's like kind of like the NSA, Bush era paranoia thing. Like, we need to nip this in the bud right now. Yeah, they have rights, but it doesn't matter. We need to take care of this because they can do this to us. Typical xenophobic X-Men. Garbage.
Fair enough.
It's just, and it's cool though because, it makes it a little bit more plausible that people are like, let's hire unbeatable robots to take care of business.
Right, because the government's never going to turn on us.
Right. So
Ever.
I'm really excited for X-Men. How to get that out.
So going back to Game of Thrones.
So going back to GOT, Song of
Calling
Ice
it
and
GOTS
Fire.
is so not okay.
SOIAF. That's a handy acronym to carry around with you. SOIAF. Song of Ice and Fire.
It's better than the acronym for the wiki. It's a wiki of Ice and Fire. AWIOF. A wilf.
A weef.
A wilf.
A weef.
You gotta say it with a Scottish accent. It's a wilf.
So, I was a Robb Stark fan. I wanted to see Robb Stark prevail if Ned couldn't, because Ned didn't have a head and all that.
And because Robb liked Jon. Robb.
Right, like, Robb was best friends with Jon. Other than Arya was one of the... Well, Jon loved Bran, but Bran was so young, he just didn't know any better. So Robb was the only person who knew better that really had an affection for Jon and treated him as a brother. Like, that, you gotta love that.
And you gotta admit, the only thing Robb told his mom, you're dead-ass wrong, I'm doing the opposite of what you're telling me, is about Jon Snow.
Oh, that, by the way, was my question for this episode. I don't want Jon to die, because has anyone notified him that he is heir to the North right now?
Nobody is.
Because he knows Robb died, right? Or does he? He knows Robb.
Yeah, he knows Robb's dead. The only one that knows that's still alive that Robb
made him the heir.
That Robb made him the heir is Black Walt. No, the Blackfish.
Edmure, no, not Edmure Tully.
So basically, it's Catelyn's
what's his
uncle.
name?
He
He
was
just
called the
doesn't-
Black. So
Does he not have the wherewithal to notify him, or he's just
He's gone.
He's incapacitated.
He's
the one
he's
that
gone.
got captured, huh? Because he was the one that married.
No, Edmure Tully
No,
got
he's
captured.
gone. He never got married. He might be gay. He might be just celibate. We don't know. He just never got married. He was always just this kind of. They call him the Blackfish because he is Kat's
Older brother.
No, Kat's uncle.
Yeah, you're right. He's Hoster's brother.
He just disappeared then after
So he
the
just
wedding.
somehow him and Roose Bolton are like the only two that survive. The Blackfish just disappears. Like he's just
They
gone.
don't know where he
They don't like. I'm in book
The
5 and
the
they
Fre-
still have no idea where
The
that
Freys are
Oh.
looking. The Freys are looking for him because honestly, technically, he's
Seems
Lord
kind
of-
of plot devicey.
well by the old laws, he is Lord of the Riverlands, technically.
I mean, that seems a little.
Because
plot
no,
devicey.
Edmure still is. Edmure still is because they kept his ass alive.
Yeah, or no, plot devicey a little bit, like a hint.
No, if anybody could vanish, it's Blackfish.
So he just doesn't care. He doesn't want to notify.
No,
Jon?
he's waiting for the right time to strike.
Okay.
He's the only canny Tully. Literally, Hoster Tully was canny, but
Basically,
Hoster's
he's
old
like,
cat.
if I notify Jon right now, he comes back north and does nothing. Basically.
Well, but no. Hoster Tully's like, okay, I gotta find a way to surefire get out of the Riverlands without getting found by the Freys or the various raiders they've been employing as
or
their bannermen.
Lannisters.
Yeah, he's like, I need to sit put until I actually have a way to get to the north. Because that's the thing.
We can't. I guess ravens are they rare?
No, it's just
Ravens
even
can
if
be
he
shot.
even if he tells.
Yeah, but I mean, if they don't know where he's sending the raven from, they're just be like, Raven! Shoot it out of the sky. Oh, this happened to be his raven.
Well, actually, some ravens are actually marked by which house they came from.
He couldn't get an unmarked raven.
Well, no, but
He
But the
disappeared.
problem is that you get the raven, but it's like pigeons. They only go towards certain areas. So like you have to get a pigeon that's born in this area, and then you
knows
take them.
better.
So he would have to get a hold of a raven
That has to go north, basically.
that was born in Castle Black, which are really hard to come by.
Okay.
And then he still has to make it all the way through the north, which is just in chaos right now. And
I mean, there's
he has
Ironborn.
to kind of time it right, because even if he gets to Jon, is like, oh yeah, by the way,
You're king.
yeah, and it's like, oh, this is
Well, what
just
am I going to do with that information?
So it's
Well,
like
and
he
technically,
doesn't.
John actually can't be king.
Bastards
for
can
this-
be king, or
No, for the same reason that James. No. That was part of the thing. Robb legitimized. Although, actually, since Robb legitimized him, does that undo his?
It does. A king can undo your vows.
You're right. Okay, no. So he is actually heir.
So he could leave Castle Black for that.
That's right, because
reason.
technically Joffrey could undo Jaime's vows.
Yep.
That's a really OP skill. And it's
Oh yeah,
never
because
been
Tywin
used.
said that, huh? Because he's like, why
There's
would
a
you want to be the
precedent. There's a
Yeah,
precedent.
he set the precedent by firing Barristan. So-
I'm not actually gonna lie. It actually makes a lot of sense from Tywin's perspective. Like, Jaime is being irrational. He'll never be the Kingsguard he was. He won't actually be an asset to any extent. He's actually going to do better for the realm as Lord of Casterly Rock. But screw Tywin.
So yeah, which makes me wonder: did Cersei put that together? I
What?
never can tell what she's putting together. Did she put together
No,
that
no.
Jaime literally just ruined his future that he could have had for her?
Tywin doesn't give a crap what Cersei thinks.
No. I'm saying, does Cersei realize when she basically tells Jaime, who the only reason he stayed in the Kingsguard was for her, screw Joffrey, he didn't care about Joffrey. Did she put that together? Like, he just ruined his future for me, and
No.
No, she knows that he sacrificed everything to join that. She just doesn't care.
She literally,
Ugh,
honestly,
you.
the only character in the series that literally has no excuse,
Redeeming
no excuse, no reason, no moral argument for anything she does is Cersei Lannister. Nothing about her makes sense. She doesn't truly love Joffrey. She doesn't truly love Jaime. She doesn't even truly
No,
love.
she likes her kids. So she does mother bear.
I thought she was
No,
motherly.
she runs off her instincts. I'll give you, but let's be honest. If you care about your son, do you let him be stupid enough? Even we know Tyrion didn't do it. Do you let him be dumb enough to humiliate the man who's going to hand you your cup?
Well,
Literally.
but what is she going to do at that point? She's not going to stand up in front of the whole wedding and
No, but you would think that she would have
At
trained him
some point, and
Oh, well, that's
the thing.
fair,
She's
but
not
The
actually.
way you put it is like she should have put stopped.
No. But that's the thing. At some point, she would
She
have.
can't. She can't as soon as Joffrey becomes king.
Yeah,
Joffrey
that's what I'm
comes
saying.
to.
Marjorie did her part. Marjorie's the only one that made
She was the only
things
one that
like-
could control him.
Right.
Her and Tywin. Those were the only two that could take control of Joffrey.
And honestly,
And Tywin could be like, "Oh, you're drunk."
if Cersei actually cared about her son, earlier
Yeah,
she would have
stepped
stepped
I don't
in.
know, maybe disciplined him once
Something,
in a while.
yeah.
yeah.
No, but that's the
Which
thing.
that's on Robert too. To
no,
be fair.
Robert beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Well,
thing
but
as
that,
the-
No, no, no.
that actually fed
What
the,
ended
that
up
actually fed
happening-
the fire.
What happened was,
I told him about the cats.
yeah. So
But my point is that's still on Robert because he never explained things.
You can't
to
go from
Joffrey.
being absentee to beat the shit out of.
But that's my point is like if you ever like I'm not advocating beating the shit out of your kid. Let's just say you spank
No.
your kid. If you don't explain to your kid why
It is just abuse at that
you
point.
spanked him, that's only going to create like a fission in the kid. And
No,
be like,
that's
oh,
literally painful stimuli, and it actually reinforces the idea
Right.
that force means right.
Right.
Which
honestly,
not to go into too
no.
philosophy here, but
You know,
technically that's the way
if
world
anything,
works.
that
But
reinstilled in Joffrey, King does what King wants. Because he's like, oh, well, my dad beat his ass, and nobody gets mad that he's beating his own kid because he's the king. So when I'm king, I'm going to do whatever I
well,
want.
Joffrey watches Robert slap Cersei and watches the Kingsguard do nothing.
Right.
Although that precedent actually got set by Aerys. With Jaime.
So...
I mean, literally, because Jaime's watching Aerys rape his wife. And Jaime, and that's the thing, Jaime's not all bad. Even in the beginning, Jaime looks to Sir Geralt Hightower and says, I'm sworn to protect the Queen, too.
Right.
And Gerald Hightower, who's an honorable knight and chivalrous by all counts, says, not for the king.
Right. Well, yeah. And Jaime still sat on the throne after he cut her.
I think, honestly, that's
I think he was tired.
No, literally, no, I mean, literally, I
One
think
day of King Slaying.
Jaime's, honestly, because that's the thing, Jaime worships the ideal of being a knight. He
Oh, yeah,
does. He legit does. He stabs the king. He's broken his oath. He sits from the sheer weight of what he's just done. And it was a sacrifice.
He's like,
And-
what else do I gotta lose?
No, but there's more to the backstory to why he killed the king. There wasn't just like...
He
It
goes
wasn't just like,
he
I'm
goes-
sick of this guy.
He goes into it in the bathtub, so we're not even spoiling
Right,
the
yeah,
saying.
no, he does. He says he's gonna kill the whole city. Basically.
He literally had to make a sacrifice then and there, his own personal code of honor. He had to leave. He had to go from being a pseudo Ned Stark to something else entirely, which is why he's a broken man. Which is why he does what he does. Which is why he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
He doesn't care because he's gone.
Right. So,
Now,
Robb Stark and all that, Mike.
Sorry.
So, hey, to be honest, this makes Robb Stark more likable. The fact that he made his bastard brother heir beyond himself rather than Bran or,
Rickon.
That's actually how this tirade started.
Yeah. So that makes him more likable. So yeah, I was Team Stark and I'm Team Robb. I was like, I want to see Robb do well. And the second, her name is Talisa. Let's see, Talisa Major? Is that even a house? Did they make that up?
In the TV series, she's just, basically she's just... In the TV series, she's like a nurse. In the book, she's actually part of a house.
Okay.
Under the Lannisters, ironically.
Under the Lannisters.
Jane Westerling. But the reason why they didn't want to get her mixed up is Jane Westerling is the name of another person who married... Oh, this is going to piss me off. I don't remember.
The TV series?
No, in the books. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So she's Jane Westerling in the books. And I know
Because,
that,
but Jane
that's one of
Westerling
the few
is
things
another...
the show has changed pretty substantially, right?
Well, there's a reason they did that. There's two Jane Westerlings in the book series. They don't want to get it confused, which is hilarious because half the people watching the TV series are not going to read the books. But whatever. So she's a made-up house from Volantis, which is a random city that doesn't actually matter. It's a freehold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a freehold that hasn't mattered to the story, so it's an easy pull away. Like, it's an
Right.
old family house from Volantis.
Right.
Which when I do actually kind of love the interaction between Catelyn and Talisa in the beginning, because Robb's like, "Oh, this is Talisa Stark," presenting her. Catelyn clearly knows what the hell's going on. Catelyn's like, looking at Robb going, "You idiot."
Right.
You noble idiot. Now, granted, she's caused most of the problems. She looks at him and goes, "You noble idiot," and then she's still polite
Right.
to Talisa.
Well, she can't say anything. She just let go the Kingslayer. So what you gonna do? You're breaking your... Oh, God.
Although honestly, I
Rob, you're not making smart.
You know what? This will be a good
decisions.
argument. I actually argue that Catelyn doesn't have a choice in that situation. She has to let Brienne take the Kinslayer because of the 4 or 5 different pathways that can go. That's the only way Sansa might not die.
Yeah, but
Literally.
I mean,
Her whole redeeming quality, just like Cersei, is that she is caring for her daughters and sons.
Yeah, but at
Not
the
for her
same time,
sons.
She cares for them. Doesn't mean that she did,
yeah, exactly.
she did
That's
right
what I'm
by
saying.
them.
She, no offense to Sansa, but there's bigger things at play than her safety.
Not to Catelyn.
I know, but I'm just saying that doesn't necessarily make it the right.
Oh,
decision.
tactfully
makes
no.
no sense.
But okay, you're not a mom and you don't have a kid yet. There's a different part of your brain that opens up when you have a child. I've heard this from every single parent I've ever talked to. Reason goes away. Tactics go away. It's why the Night's Watch was supposed to not have children. It's why the Kingsguard are not supposed to have children.
See, to me, you've explained why she did it. Like, I can understand why she did it, but you didn't justify it.
No, but say from her perspective, you cannot expect her to do anything else, because situation number 1, she lets the Karstarks do what she wants. Sansa is not only killed, but killed in a brutal fashion. Because then at that point, Tywin goes to Joffrey and says, "Do whatever the hell you want to her." That ends badly for everyone. No one wins. Number 2, she confronts the Karstarks. They kill her.
They're not going to kill her.
Yeah, they would.
No, they won't.
They were willing to defy the king anyways.
Yeah, but they're not going to kill him.
They would have killed Jaime. That's why.
You said
No,
kill
I'm
Catelyn.
saying
I honestly,
they wouldn't kill Robb. If Robb's standing
No.
between them and Jaime, they're not going to kill him.
I say if Catelyn actually stands between, they at least beat the shit out of her to get him out of the way.
No, they just
if not
move
kill
her. She's not that strong. They just pick her up,
Right.
hold her, beat the.
Well, poor Brienne dies.
She would die.
Yeah. But either way, beat or kill the king's mother, you have problems. That can't erupt into civil warfare. You fight them. Still ends in civil warfare.
See, I'll buy the Karstark's reason more than
Hell
that's
no.
her kid.
There's no. Your kid was incompetent. We've actually discussed this. If I'm Robb Stark, I go back there ASAP, number 1. I don't leave my mom to handle this crap. Right. She's already proven she's an idiot. We go back, and I look Karstark in the eye and say, "Why was your son stupid enough to get killed by a man in chains?" I looked at this man, unarmed, in front of him, and talked to him for a good 5 minutes before I had my direwolf come over. I didn't die. If I didn't die, what the hell is your son's problem? He had a sword.
Right.
How did he let himself die? This is not my mom's fault. This is not my fault. This is your son's fault for being an idiot. And then at that point, all the other Northmen look at him.
Karstarks is so are you mad at us for honoring your son with some responsibilities?
Yes!
Should we have...
I mean, literally, granted, that pisses off old man Karstark, but all the other cousins Karstarks are looking at him because, I mean, that's the Northerners. They're like, he's got a point.
That's when you get that super hot fire posse behind him,
damn! Yeah!
Oh, damn!
Yo, I gave your son some responsibility, and he got killed! Oh!
All he had to do was not go within a foot of the guy and let his guard down. Oh!
Don't turn your back to the Kingslayer.
Right.
So, but what you're asking is, does he still marry the chick?
Okay,
So he marries
Mike,
a chick and...
Come on, Mike, you can't do this to my wife. But what if? That was not my what if. My what if is, let's say Robb gets his head in the game. I don't want to completely write her off because, I want him some happiness later. But,
He wants some pootie on the tang?
Yeah, everyone gets a little pootie on the tank. It's Game of Thrones.
I just went there.
So let's, Robb's look, I can keep my mistresses because, this is Game of Thrones.
And I'm a king.
But for now, since, I'm kind of, trying to win a war and all that, I'm gonna marry Frey's daughter and...
Who's also really hot.
Who ends up being hot.
Right,
I love that scene. That's one of the
That
best
was so
scenes.
funny.
Edmure is just like...
Yeah. I love that when Frey
Oh,
looks at him
my God.
Frey's like...
Granted, that night ended badly for him anyways. Because, I mean, I remember in the books, they interrupted the mid-consummation. Because technically, you only have to start the affair for it to be sealed. You don't actually have to finish. So as soon as everything started, the Freys were like, no.
No.
Pull him
I
out.
get to enjoy it.
Like, no!
Yeah, no, so... That's my what if. Let's just say her name is Talisa Major in the show. Let's run with that name. What if Robb doesn't break his vow, or not his vow, is not the right word, but his promise to the Freys.
And he goes back and marries.
Yes, let's go with that what if. And so that way, the Red Wedding never happens, and the North isn't, or the battle isn't won right there.
See, that's actually a big question for me, because...
The war would be over. He hasn't lost. He scares the shit out of the Lannisters.
Yeah, because
they think all the Northmen are
he gets to
wargs.
push on Casterly Rock at that point.
I love how they actually think
No,
that
what
Robb
ends up
turns into a
happening
wolf.
is he ends up...
Even Tywin's kind of like saying it, like he's saying it like passively to his what would you call it?
Well, no,
His,
Tywin wants his commanders to understand that they cannot underestimate Robb.
Right.
That's why he's overdoing it.
But I just think it's
Or
funny.
his-
It's like Tywin says it to them for like confirmation, and they're like, I don't know what you want to say, Tywin. Maybe he can turn into a wolf. We don't know.
I love Arya Stark's moment at that in the show. She's like, some say he can become a wolf.
I don't think Robb would actually go to invade King's Landing.
No,
He would
needs to
finish.
push west.
He would finish Casterly Rock. By the time he gets married, Roose Bolton would have to come back for the wedding. And once him and Roose Bolton are back together, because the fact that they were separated was a good bad thing. When Roose separated, Tywin had to worry about two fronts now.
Right.
Because even though Roose got his forces like obliterated, he's still way better commander than Robb is. But Robb just has.
Now,
the
was it
ferocity.
Roose's forces they sacrificed to capture the Kingslayer then?
No, actually,
No.
he sacrifices Karstarks?
No,
Granted,
no.
this was back when
So
No,
wait,
no, no.
why
So,
did
so
Roose-
what happens with Roose is that they're stuck at they're trying to get across the river, right? The Lannisters are coming. They have to make a deal with the Freys that he's going to marry one of their daughters, whatever. Well, they're trying to do a forced march to... I think they're trying to get to the Tullys to make sure that the Tullys are safe. But they have to split their forces because the Lannisters are coming up one way. So they do a forced march to catch the Lannisters unprepared. And that was Roose Bolton's plan.
Okay.
So Roose Bolton comes and just scares the crap out of Lannisters. And it's not so much that he deals them a devastating blow. They're a huge army. But it took them an entire day to do the fight. And then now they have to regroup. So now Robb's troops can get to where they need to go.
Okay.
But Roose is able to escape with still quite a few of his men.
Well, a quick distinction, too.
So basically, it's just that Roose had to fight a couple extra fights to allow Robb to just cruise.
Well, and a quick distinction. The book and the movie I don't know why I keep saying movie. TV
It's fine,
show...
Mike. I think people understand what we're talking about.
Right, the TV show and the book do deviate considerably in the tactics. I confirmed with Derek, and he nodded. For those of you who can't look at us.
The all reassuring nod.
Which, so basically, for instance, it does make sense when Edmure gets bitched out by Robb. Because Robb could have captured Tywin. Literally, like Robb could
The
have...
brains behind the
Robb could have ended
operation.
the war then and there, and because Edmure didn't listen and was glory hungry. So when Robb comes back and says, "You're a dumbass," and Blackfish goes, "Yeah, you're a dumbass," and Catelyn kind of just looks at him glaring like,
Says, "Yeah, you're a
There's a
dumbass.
reason. There's
You're
a reason for that."
dumbass."
Well, and just he has the Blackfish with him, who's an amazing commander to begin with, and then you have Roose Bolton and Robb, who's just known for being terrifying. You have those three together. Tywin's screwed. All he has is his brother Kevin, who's a capable commander, but he's not creative. He knows how to manage things. That's all.
He's good at carrying out what Tywin wants him to carry out.
But he's
I
not.
guess.
He can't make his own strategies. Like he
Right.
knows what he needs to
He's
do.
a follower, and they even say that in the book.
Right.
Granted,
Which, by the way, thanks for calling me Kevin Lannister today, by the way, then. Mike's all trying to reassure. I was like, you do not call me a Lannister. Granted, I have blonde hair and blue eyes.
I thinking about what happens. Yeah, that's kind of an insult. We're not gonna go there. I apologize.
He's like, no, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's like Tywin's brother and stuff. And he didn't mention that he was not capable of thinking of his own strategies. So thank you for that, Mike.
Sorry.
So I mean, So if Robb goes through with the wedding with the Freys, I mean, he pushes on Casterly Rock, right? And at that point, Tywin has to pull back troops to defend his homeland, and then Stannis Blackwater goes completely different at that point, right?
Oh well, okay.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. When does Tywin negotiate this whole thing with the Tyrells? What is the time frame?
He
with
doesn't. The Tyrells come completely by surprise.
And he's like, "Hey, you're there."
No. You know why the Tyrells do what they do? It's because Loras goes to Olenna and goes, "I don't care. We're not going with Stannis." Literally,
Because
Loras.
of what Renly told him, basically.
Not even. Loras and Renly were lovers, and Olenna's not stupid enough to think that she can't proceed with whatever she wants to do without Renly. Or no, sorry,
Loras.
She's not stupid enough to think that without Loras and Tail, their best warrior, actually, although technically isn't Garth the Gallant a better warrior than Loras?
Oh, come on, splitting hairs here. Let's go. Loras.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
for the show.
Okay,
as far as we know
for the show, Loras their best warrior and technically the heir to the house. She's
Loras isn't the heir to the house.
Yeah, she is.
Loras?
Yeah,
His brother Willis is.
In the show, not. Willis doesn't exist in the show.
I thought does he not have a brother in the show?
No.
They haven't shown him.
Remember, because that's why Tywin actually has a leg up on Olenna. He's like, your heir, Loras, I'll promote him to Kingsguard.
I think Mike showed about that, because Loras is supposed to marry Cersei. If Willis were around, I gotta think he would be the one.
Granted,
to
I like
Cersei.
Willis, and I'm kind of pissed off.
Cersei's betrothed to Willis.
In the books.
In the books, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
Mike's
Loras,
right, because in the show, because remember, there's that great
Yeah.
line where Jaime gives up to Sir Loras. He's like, "You'll never marry her," and then Sir Loras goes, "Well,
neither will you,
man."
Great. Well, their dynamic is.
I hate
really...
liking something Sir Loras does, but that was great.
Honestly, Loras and Jaime's dynamic is a lot better in the books.
Okay, but going back to the whole Robb thing, I think once if Robb gets the Freys, Robb marches on the Lannisters. The Tyrells don't go to the Lannisters. The Tyrells go to the Starks.
Right, because they're going to go to who wins.
And then at that point, I honestly see Olenna going, okay, yeah, you can marry a Frey.
Well,
or you can have Marjorie. She's a lot hotter.
Honestly, I think Tywin retreats back to Castle
No, but
Rock.
he would have already married her at that point.
You're right. Well, I think... No, literally, part of the deal was Catelyn said, okay, as soon as this war is over, we marry a Frey.
Fair enough.
Which, honestly... Here's the deal. I know the Freys think they're all that with their little towers thing, but you don't win a siege on both sides. You don't. So, if Robb wants to marry Marjorie, and I don't blame him if he does, I don't see what Walder Frey does the hell about that. He just goes, damn it. Darn.
And his house implodes.
Yeah, it's just explosion right there. Because at that point, it's like, okay, you're being starved out from the south and the north, not to mention... Let the Reeds have at it. The Reeds hate the Walders.
The Reeds don't leave those swamps though.
Oh, they'll leave for the Freys. They hate the Freys.
But they can't leave. Like that's their whole. Oh wait. Okay, the one Reed. He's terrifying.
Howland.
But it's a rest. I'm not so sure
The
about
Slayer of Arthur Dane, Howland effing Reed.
Yes, he's terrifying.
We still haven't seen him in the books even. It's
he
bullshit.
They just keep alluding to him. So like
there's 80 dead dudes.
So like the Kingsguard, the original Kingsguard, like you have
Arthur Dane, Geralt Hightower, and I can't remember the bat.
All these yeah, just these guys that are like legends.
Better than
Ned goes down with.
Now, are they skilled, or they have the physical?
Well, they're
prowess?
skilled. They're like Jaime Lannister with a sword, but they're also like monsters. Like
I'm pretty sure. Well, Arthur Dane was basically a better version of Jaime Lannister.
See,
Geralt was Robert with Arthur Dane's skill.
Yeah.
Now, how do they describe Jaime in the books? Because in the show, Jaime he's probably 6'2", 6'1".
Oh no, they describe him as fairly.
He's fairly average though, right? Physically.
Geralt Hightower 6'4", 240. Basically.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a linebacker. NFL linebacker with Jaime's skill.
Yeah.
He's like 15 stone, except he actually knows what he's doing.
And they're just terrifying. And they explain what they've done, and you're just like, holy crap.
They call him the White Bull.
Yeah, he's a monster. But, so Ned goes down with 12 guys, one of them being...
No, he goes down with 7.
Seven, 3 or 4.
Yeah, because it's a recurring theme, 7 versus 3.
So it's 7 versus 3. One of the 7 that Ned goes down with is Hodor's dad.
Who was a monster in his own right.
Again, was like Gerald Hightower.
Rumored to be a part giant.
Huge, right?
Yeah, and so were his parents, yeah. So there's Hodor's dad that went with him, so he's a tank. And then, but the only 2 that survive are Howland Reed and Ned.
Tank. Frank, the tank.
So those 2 are the only ones that survive, and Howland Reed was the one that, like, Ned... They basically went for Ned, and Howland Reed was the one that just finished them.
Now, granted, I don't necessarily think that the trident probably helps because nobody knows how to deal with the trident.
Or a Ned.
Right. So you have.
Actually, I don't know if he used the net, but I'm just going to assume gladiator style.
Throw the net and fall out.
Well, and if you remember, the one I'm really glad they took this conversation from the books to the TV series when Barristan and Ned are talking about that. Barristan's being really chivalrous and nice and saying, "No, I'm sure you could have given me a run for your money." And Ned's like, "You're hilarious." No.
See,
The only
catch
man
that.
I know who could have killed you probably is Howland Reed. And like he just goes on for like 10 minutes about Howland Reed is the shit. I have no problem saying that.
But we've only met his kids. You don't ever meet Howland. You don't meet anybody else.
Now, granted, Howland is a little busy right now.
By the way, can we agree that I don't think it's the show's fault, but it's just like, I want to see some of these duels play out, and you don't see many in the show.
You're going to.
Trust
You're
me, they're
about to
coming.
see some.
Like, I want to see the greatest hits of, like,
Oh,
Game of Thrones
dude.
dueling. I mean, the only
It's
ones
not-
we've really seen, you see Jaime fight Brienne, you see Jaime
Yeah,
fight Ned, but I
yeah.
mean, Jaime wasn't...
But you gotta remember that this George R. R. Martin, he's not so much for the duels. He realized that in battle, like the odds of two fighters meeting each other on the battlefield are
Right.
very slim.
Well, yeah,
So he
well,
sets
okay,
it
well-
up so that like
What you have to realize about Robert versus Rhaegar, which is probably the only example you get.
Right, how did those two meet?
Their various royal guards are fighting. That's what happens. You have the King's Guard that are with Rhaegar. Granted, I do not let Arthur Dayne walk away within 5 feet of me if I'm Rhaegar, but Rhaegar was kind of cocky.
no, Rhaegar had other
He had other problems, but
he had other issues.
That's the thing. I don't let Barristan. Okay, if you're sending Rhaegar,
Rhaegar Targaryen,
if
by the way.
if Rhaegar
But
Targaryen is
Rhaegar,
sending,
he doesn't have a choice. It's his dad who's the one running everything. So he can bring whoever he wants. So he couldn't bring who he wanted.
but if I'm Aerys,
He was-
why the hell do I let Barristan Selmy leave the vicinity of my son? Better yet, because
He's batshit crazy.
well, no, but no, but if you remember,
Mike, what was his whole name again?
yeah, no, but that's the
The
thing about
Mad
this.
King.
But you know what though?
Mike's
I
like, where's the
challenge your,
logic in the Mad King's thinking?
I challenge your assert. Well, but the one thing the Mad King was pretty solid on is covering his ass.
Mike's like goes up to the Mad King. He's like, "Yeah, no, I get what you're telling me to do and all, and I get that you're the king and you have to do it, but could you just explain the logic?" And Mike would get his head cut off and like his
No, you get burned.
No, I get burned to death. That'd be way worse.
He likes to burn people.
No, but if you think about it, though, Rhaegar instructed Geralt Hightower and Arthur Dayne, and no, granted, Arthur Dayne's his best friend. Rhaegar told them to go to the Tower of Joy. Aerys didn't.
Yeah, but why did they go to the tower?
We're not going there, but that being said, Rhaegar probably actually has more influence on the Kingsguard out in the field than Aerys does at this point. Because Rhaegar literally tells Jaime, hold the fort here, I'm gonna go try to win this war. If I do, shit's changing around here. What I take that to think, Rhaegar's gonna kick Aerys off his ass, kick him off the keister, and take over and make sure shit gets run nicely.
But he can't do that right now. If he did that, there'd be a full civil war within another civil. It'd be like Civil War Inception.
I don't think any of that.
Civilception.
Listen, honestly, after the burning of
Aberdolf Linkler.
no, literally,
Anybody?
after the burning.
I got you.
If I was not in a tirade, I'd give you a high five right now. No, but after the burning of Brandon and what is
Lyanna?
old Stark's name?
Whatever.
Whatever his name is, old Stark and Brandon Stark's burning.
Oh, Ned's dad.
I don't think any Lord of Westeros has a problem with Rhaegar, clearly the more sane of the two, taking over.
But there still need to be like that adjustment period, and then you'd have the people that are going
I
like.
believe this is my what if.
Ah,
I can't just
sorry.
say what if Rhaegar.
I'm sorry.
But I'm gonna say with you, if Robb does keep his word, and just
So
keeps that
Stannis
shit-
comes to power, right?
I don't know about that.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who takes it on at that point? Because you got to figure.
Stannis.
I
I
think if Tywin, or if Robb pushes in on Castle Rock, I feel like Tywin retreats Castle Rock, but with a surrender in hand.
See, Robb bends the knee to Stannis.
Robb doesn't. He's already a separate king. He's not going to bend the knee to Stannis.
I see
you
Robert.
think Stannis wants the North?
No, I see.
He wants a kingdom.
No, Stannis is about justice. So
He's
justice
black.
includes
There is no
everything.
gray. There's black and white.
But do you know why, though? As soon as somebody says Ned supported Stannis, Robb does what Ned would have wanted. Robb bends the knee again to Stannis as the rightful king of Westeros. Robb does not bend the knee to Renly. If Renly comes out on top, we got problems. We have a war. We have a real war. Where the rest of the Seven Kingdoms, minus maybe Dorne, who's like going, come on to the desert. We'll see. The rest of the kingdom, granted, I hope Renly's not this stupid. Renly tries to march on the north.
I don't think
We'll see how that goes.
Renly would be smart enough. He's more diplomatic.
True. He'd probably try to woo Robb. Like, listen, go ahead, call yourself king of the north, but you're just subservient to me. Kind of like a Northumbria, Normandy kind of thing. For history majors, that's
he does the Chris Farley King of the North quotes.
Yeah.
King of the North.
You can be king of the north as long as you're under me,
Right.
king of Westeros.
Right.
Go ahead, do what you want, but just whenever we need help, send it. Which is essentially what the North does anyway.
Anyways, yeah, they already have their autonomy for the most part. Only, nothing else because
Practicality.
King Robert states, and when he first gets there, it's a long damn way to the north. He's like, I forgot how long it takes to get
The
here.
North is the most territory out of anything.
Right, it's Russia of...
Yeah.
I think, honestly, like...
It's actually a pretty good example, Russia.
Well, it'd be a question.
So
That's why I would...
It's more Germanic than Russian, though, if you look at, like, historic-wise.
Which is a lot scarier if you think
What I'm saying, that's why I would build King's Landing in the north. I'd be like, you wanna come to us? You gotta go through winter, bitch. Like, you know, like...
Dude, I love the North. The Northmen are like, winter's slightly worse than normal. Slightly. Y'all, have fun.
Right. We're ready for the winter.
In the words of Sandor Clegane, winter's coming. They won't survive winter. Dead people don't need coins.
Right. Oh, our catchphrase, by the way, for Game of Thrones was like, Game of Thrones, where Sandor Clegane isn't as much of a douche in comparison.
Sandor
Where Sandor Clegane isn't the biggest douche.
Sandor
in the
Clegane
show.
is the moral compass of this season at this point.
Right.
He's a utilitarian
You
moral
Sandor
compass.
Clegane for what right and wrong.
He's
I
what the
really hope-
casual observer would do.
I really hope he shows back up. Just for people who've
You
actually read...
know my theory.
Just
on
for
that.
people who've read the book, I'm really hoping he's around somewhere. There's gonna be something big happening with him.
I gotta get my mouth shut.
Anyway, so do you think that was a pretty good analysis of your situation? Or?
So, who do we decide comes out on top at this point?
So if...
I mean, I get that we're saying, like, what if Renly comes to power, what if Stannis comes to power, but let's think feasibly who
I
comes...
legit think Stannis comes to power, because Robb could bend the knee to Stannis. Robb cannot, or will not bend the knee to Renly.
No,
Period.
but the problem is that the Tyrells go straight to whoever.
But you have
They're
to
not
think-
going to go to Stannis. They're just not. So
how does Renly...
actually, no. Elaine would tell Loras the
But if you think about it, how does Renly swing
That's the
that?
thing. If
'Cause-
Olenna sees the deck stacked, she'll tell, I don't care who you fancy.
Yeah.
Especially in the books, because Renly's not
But
actually...
the thing is, like, I get how Renly swings Bannerman in the show, the way it plays out, but let's say Stannis makes it to King's Landing, does Renly swing those Bannermen the way he does? Like, Renly doesn't have the forces.
No, but remember,
Renly
he
does.
doesn't. Renly has like over 100,000 troops, and
Renly
how
has-
did he get them?
Renly
because
has
he has Storm's End and he has a
Stannis-
Tyrell.
Oh, that's right, he's the rightful heir,
Stannis is
Robert.
pushing 30k.
That's right.
That's why when Renly stacks up against Stannis, with logic working, not expecting the Red Woman to pump out an evil shadow baby from her death kegel vagina.
So, is that plot device can we go there?
Oh, it's Deus Ex Machina, but it's freaking
I mean,
because
do
of George R. R.
Shadow
Martin.
Kegel Beast
Shadow
come
Kegel
around
Beast.
later? 'Cause
I
that's all-
like that. The Shadow Kegel Beast.
Hashtag Shadow Kegel Beast. Let's see.
That's gonna be trending tomorrow.
Let's trend that.
If we start that, that's gonna be a bad taste in my mouth.
I mean, is that like ever happen again? Because
She doesn't do anything.
No,
as big
honestly,
anymore.
she
can only do.
but-
She's a
but-
one-trick wonder.
But she explains it
I
that.
hate it.
She tells Stannis, listen, I took your life force. And granted, he's not listening. And I partially think he just wants to bang her again. That's part of it. But she's like, listen, I don't think you understand. I took a lot out of you to make the Shadow Baby. Let's find another bastard royal baby. Which she does, and then, of course...
They need to find, in order for her to use her power, she needs to sacrifice King's blood.
Yeah.
So depending on how much King's blood she sacrifices, decides how much she can create.
Am I the only one who thinks that R'hllor is clearly demonic and not a god?
Who?
The red god, R'hllor. He's
He's
clearly not a god. I can't wait till an actual Valyrian randomly pops up and goes, oh, by the way, he's the devil.
okay. To be quite honest, even the Seven aren't real gods. The only ones
No, the Seven aren't real. I'm convinced the Seven don't actually exist. It's
the
old
only
gods and
ones
R'hllor.
the only ones that are actually around are the Children of the Forest.
Well, but in that case, the old gods. Listen, I think
So the old gods are the only ones that are.
Listen,
that
Hey
we
guys,
have
I hate to do
proof.
this to you, but remember how we're keeping this to the show?
Well, no, we are still.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
This isn't even backlore. You can't count backlore if
No,
it's
this is
revealed in the future.
This is totally backlore.
No, but it's not revealed to the future.
Yeah, it is.
It's not covered as much in the TV series. I'll give them that.
Okay, to
That's
be
what I'm
fair,
saying. I just think if
you just
I'm
haven't
trying
watched-
to,
well,
I'm trying
listen.
to keep it for show watchers right now, and I feel like
Fair
right now
enough.
they're
So
like-
we're getting a little off track.
Okay, to be fair, if you watch the link we're going to give you, this actually does cover everything.
So then for my satisfaction with this what if then, so what does Stannis do then to come to power? Does he's just like, look, Robb's on my side, and then Renly's okay.
He's not. I actually don't see Stannis taking power.
You see Renly then?
I
would probably say
there are two key events that happen for Stannis to take power. Number one, he needs to get to King's Landing without dying or being captured.
No, but he needs he would have to. Robb would be the one that'd be pretty much in charge of Westeros at that point. He'd be the most unstoppable force. He'd have the strongest, most. He'd be like the Israeli special forces. Stannis would have to be like, hey, can you help me out? And Stannis would not do that. Stannis would try to fight him.
No. Stannis would tell him, your father.
No, because remember, Stannis already said, Robb is going to be.
Bends the knee or no.
Yeah, Robb's either bends the knee or dies. So he's going to be. That's how he is. He's black and white. There is no gray. He would not.
No, but that's the thing. When Stannis parlays with Robb, that flag bearing discussion that he has with Renly that doesn't go anywhere. You have Catelyn being snippy, but then Stannis chides Robb for letting Catelyn talk. Robb gets offended and slightly shamed by letting his mom talk and tells his mom to shut the hell up. That's number one that happens. Number two, I just call him Stanley. Stannis tells
Stanley.
Robb. Stannis is like, why the hell are you...
Makes his cameo in Game of Thrones. I'm waiting. When is he coming?
Stanley Yelnats.
Why isn't Grand Maester Pycelle Stanley then? Is that
would
fair?
Be funny. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Where he gets his he gets to keep everything, actually. He's in full tux.
The whole deal. No, so Stannis at that point looks at Robb and says, listen, I'm going to give you the same benefit I gave my brother. Or I'm going to give my brother, rather. You have until sundown to bend the knee. Keep in mind, your dad, your father, Ned Stark, backed my claim.
I'd give that then.
Robb bends the knee. Robb goes, fair enough. Just give us more autonomy. Stannis goes, fine. And they go about their business.
So let's then Stannis doesn't necessarily need to make the King's Landing. He just got to make it north of it to meet Robb somewhere.
Exactly.
And you know what? The north sharpened into a point.
Stannis is black and white, but I think he understands. Like, I still go.
Well, but if you think about it, you have the Karstarks, the Umbers, the Starks, and the Boltons focused in a point, and the Manderleys, Navy with Stannis has one thing: he has a navy. The Tyrell's navy is a joke. Well, that's the thing. The Tyrell's navy at this point is a joke. Davos brings in his pirate connections. The ocean is theirs, which means King Landing is theirs, which means literally, Renly at that point, and Renly is a pragmatist, slight pragmatist, but he's still a pragmatist, understands that he cannot win, even with the Tyrells.
No, damn it. TV show and book. In the books,
yeah.
The Tyrells have the biggest navy.
Oh, really?
That's why I'm going off the TV show.
In the TV show, yeah.
But in the books, the Manderleys plus the pirates plus Stannis equals the Tyrells. So that's a fight.
The Manderleys don't have a navy.
Yeah, they do. They're White Harbor.
They have White
Harbor. You got a mermaid as their city.
No, but the problem is that the
Ironborn are always a fucking problem.
No, the Manderleys are on the opposite side. The Ironborn are on this side, Manderleys on this side.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no,
the Manderleys, the North hasn't built a navy since like one of the great-great-great-grandfathers sailed off into the distance and never came back.
Right.
So
they don't really need one.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm gonna look at the map here.
I'm swearing a lot.
How much water is?
Well,
is the North? I mean,
they're surrounded.
Winterfell is smack far, though.
No, literally. No. There's a sizable harbor, though, which is why there's a castle on the harbor.
I should find it.
There's literally a castle.
Everyone bust out your Game of Thrones maps real quick.
Right. There's literally a castle for the Night's Watch that guards that harbor. That's why so many men are there.
There's White Harbor right there.
Okay.
So Winterfell and White Harbor. But, yeah, I still see Stannis taking at least King's Landing and Robb.
See, I think
worst case scenario, they just go back to normal. Best case scenario, he just is King of the North and they don't do anything about it.
Right.
See, my question is, what do the Dornishmen do? Because I see Duran saying, okay, you all F off. We technically didn't even swear fealty to you. We swore fealty to the Targaryens. If you want to come to our desert with metal armor, by all means, proceed.
No, Doran's not going to do anything. He's not going to start a fight unless he knows he's going to win. That's how he does it.
Yeah, but I mean, technically,
he's not gonna throw down. I mean, they might. He doesn't want to waste life. He doesn't want to start a fight unless there's meaning behind it. He's not going to fight.
You know what?
And
you know, you're right.
All right, so we agree. Rob, King of the North.
King of the North.
Kevin, I'm not going
So then for the last part,
Everyone, if you made it this far, clearly you don't care about spoilers. Keep listening.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless.
Trust the loyalty of the men following you to battle. I trust them with my life, just not with yours. Smart boy. What's wrong? Don't like being called boy? Insulted. Will you insult yourself, Kingslayer? You've been defeated by a boy. You're held captive by a boy. Perhaps you'll be killed by a boy. I think my father's going to negotiate with you. You don't know him very well. No. But he's starting to know me. 3 victories don't make you a conqueror. It's better than 3 defeats.
You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Let up the suicide doors. This is my life, homie. You decide yours. I know that Jesus died for us, but I couldn't tell you who the side was, so I